What's up, everybody? This is Zach here with another DFS video, our first MLB video of the season. Very, very excited for MLB to kick off today. Well, kicked off yesterday with the two games between Yankees and Nationals, and Dodgers and Giants, which we cashed pretty easily, by the way. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw me give up my thoughts and my locks prior to those games starting, and again, cashed really, really easily. So looking to replicate that today with our full 13-game slate. Again, really, really excited. Baseball is one of my favorite DFS sports to play. So really looking forward to just talking over the slate and giving my favorite players and kind of the direction I'm going in. So this is your first time here, new to the channel, first time ever seeing or hearing about me. Have been playing DFS for about 7 years now. Used to make a lot of video and content back in the day. Took a little bit of a break, but with the whole COVID lockdown thing starting, thought there was no better opportunity than now to go ahead and get back into it. So something I really enjoy doing, making videos and helping people out and giving my thoughts and my analysis on this kind of stuff. So first thing you want to do is make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Subscribe to this channel. I have a lot of videos coming out. I do videos for PGA, which we are on a little bit of a hot streak right now. You can see one of my prior videos just won 10K in PGA 2 weeks ago and won again last weekend. So looking to carry that into this weekend, make videos for League of Legends. NBA is right around the corner, so I'll be making videos for that as well. And then, of course, NFL when that starts up too. So trying to cover all the sports. Also make sure you're following me on Twitter. That's where I put a lot of other different type of content and kind of my last minute thoughts and my last minute locks of who I'm for sure going with in my lineups. Twitter is going to be at OneShotDFS, spelled out ONE Shot DFS. So again, make sure to follow me on there. So if you're new to this channel, kind of my content, the way it's geared and the audience I'm kind of speaking to is more for people who either into more single entry contests or manually create 2, 3, max 4 different lineups by themselves. So I don't really use an optimizer or don't try to get exposures to every certain player. So with my content, you're going to be getting a lot shorter player pools and people that I'm really trying to lock into my lineups and build around. So not that there's anything wrong with that style. It's just not the way I play and not how I enjoy playing. So if you feel like that's something for you, again, really important, hit that subscribe button. We're starting to pick up a lot more subscribers here lately with the videos. So really appreciate all of y'all who are hitting that subscribe button. And again, if you haven't, make sure to hit it and keep up to date with all the content and videos coming out here on this channel. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and start diving into the full slate for today. So something I always like doing is just kind of taking a look at the odds, seeing who the really big favorites are, seeing what the run totals are estimated to be. And first thing I try to do is just scratch out anybody I'm not going to be using. So with the 13-game slate, right, especially kind of playing the way I play, when you're building maybe 2 or 3 lineups manually, you're not going to be able to play everybody. So I like to just identify the teams who I have no interest in and nobody from that team. So starting off with Milwaukee at the Chicago. Don't really have any interest in any of the hitters from either side of this team. Chicago's a little bit priced up on Draftkings, so I don't really want to use them. I do have a little bit of interest in Brandon Woodruff. I think he's just a little bit too cheap on Draftkings, priced at $7,700. So I have a little bit of interest there. Not sure if I'll actually get there, but I do have some interest in Brandon Woodruff, none in Kyle Hendricks. So I probably won't be using any hitters from this team. But I might be using Brandon Woodruff. So looking at the next game is going to be Miami at Philadelphia. I really wanted to use Aaron Nola here. Then I saw, he came in late to training camp. His last outing, he only threw 67 pitches. So at 9,100, I am a little bit concerned of using Nola and trying to factor in if there's going to be on any type of pitch count or any type of hard stop. Matchup is pretty good. I mean, one of the better ones, right, against the terrible Marlins at home. But yeah, I mean that does concern me, if we're being honest, and I don't want to feel like taking that risk on opening day. Probably not where I'm going to go, but if we hear any news later in the day that there's no limit on Nola. He's expected to get a full workload. That'll probably change my mind, but as of right now, no interest there. No interest in Miami side, of course, and no interest in Sandy Alcantara. Um, yeah, so let's go ahead and cross this game out. Next game, Kansas City at Cleveland. Really no interest here either for me, so keep right on moving. Next game, we have Baltimore at Boston. So when I start building my lineups, um, I do like to start targeting teams that I have interest in stacking. Stacking is a really big thing in MLB, and with me, unless the team is in a really, really just true crush spot, if we're looking at like 11 or 12 run total, um, at that point I'll probably go like a full out 4 to 5 man stack. Otherwise, I really like building kind of 2 teams, 3 man stacks of each team, and trying to pick out the core people from that stack that I really like. So Boston is going to be one of those teams that I will be stacking tonight in kind of a 3 man stack. Boston's probably going to be the chalk. I mean, they have the easiest matchup on paper against Tommy Malone, gives up a ton of home runs to lefty. So right away, I know I'll be locking in JD Martinez. I think his price point's pretty reasonable on DraftKings, right under 5K. So expect JD Martinez to be pretty chalky, but I'll probably ride the chalk there, and I'll ride the chalk with a couple of other Boston pieces as well. Probably looking at Xander Bogaerts at shortstop. Maybe Jose Peraza if he ends up in the starting lineup, maybe leadoff hitter. I know he'll be super cheap, around 2,800 or so, but Boston is going to be one of those key teams that I do target in one of my stacks. So catching nobody by surprise there, right? But sometimes it's better to ride the chalk there in a really good spot like this and get different elsewhere, especially for GPP types of builds. So yeah, Boston hitters, I'll definitely be targeting specifically the right-handed hitters. And I do see Eovaldi getting a lot of kind of buzz as a possible SP2 pitcher today. I don't like using Eovaldi. I understand the matchup here is the best matchup you can get, but Eovaldi is just a little bit too volatile for me. I know he's relatively cheap as well at 7,500, but if we're getting a chalky Eovaldi, I don't think I'll get there. So yeah, I probably won't get there at all. And of course, no Tommy Malone or any bats from Baltimore either. Next game, we get Colorado at Texas. So Nance Lynn versus Marquez. These are 2 pretty good pitchers, right? I don't know if I call them elite yet, but really good pitchers. And this is probably one of those games I just avoid without any pieces being used. So next game, Minnesota at Chicago White Sox. This is probably another game that I just try to avoid. I don't really love the pitchers here at their price points, but don't want to target any hitters really against them. Next game, we get to Pittsburgh at St. Louis. So this is probably where I'm for sure locking in one of my pitchers into every lineup. That pitcher is going to be Jack Flaherty. So we see here St. Louis getting a 200-point favorite, 194, 174 in some other places, but a really, really big favorite to win this game. Jack Flaherty was someone I used a lot last season, and I do like him a lot coming in. I think he'll even take a bigger step forward this season. Playing against Pittsburgh, it's a really good matchup. Again, at home at St. Louis. Yeah, I'll probably just lock in Jack Flaherty and all of my lineups at 9,100. Getting into Seattle at Houston. So Houston, of course, with Verlander taking the mound. Verlander, if you want to plug him in, go ahead, do your thing. I have nothing bad to say about him. I'll probably do great. Probably should easily get the win. Really good elite strikeout numbers. He's just really, really expensive for me, and I do like some of the higher priced bats with Boston and other teams. So I probably won't get to Verlander, but again, if you want to prioritize Verlander, do your thing. Nothing bad to say about him. He should pan out just fine. Houston is another team that has an elite offense, but I think I like some of the higher priced bats from Boston more than Houston. So, I mean, if you're looking for more of a GPP build, maybe you can do Houston instead of Boston. It's just for me, I'll probably go the Boston bats and ride those. Next game, we have Arizona at San Diego. So this is another pitcher I have some interest in to maybe pair with Jack Flaherty. That's going to be Chris Paddock. So I haven't seen a lot of buzz on Chris Paddock for today's slate, but he's 8,600. Chris Paddock was really, really, really good last season. Arizona, while their lineup can be scary sometimes, other times they do strike out a lot. So we have a low over/under run total at 8 and 8.5, getting projected here by the odds makers. So Chris Paddock is someone I definitely have interest in, probably more for a GPP type of build to pair up with Jack Flaherty, but I don't have a problem with that, and I will probably use some Paddock in some of my lineups I built today. I do like him quite a bit here in this spot at home against Arizona. So the next game is going to be the Giants at the Dodgers. We just saw the Dodgers crush them last night. Should probably do the same thing again tonight. Dodgers are a huge favorite here, minus 250, minus 263. Ross Stripling also makes a lot of sense as a SP2 to pair with Jack Flaherty, and I'll probably be using him as well. I expect him to be somewhat chalky also, but I mean, it is what it is. Under 8K, one of the better matchups on the slate against the Giants, and he just has some pretty good strikeout ability stuff. Only concern is, as with all Dodger pitchers, is exactly how many innings does he throw, right? But at under 8K, I can live with a 5 inning performance, and what should be a guaranteed win to get that win bonus from Ross Stripling. So no problems there. Now we get into the last game of the night, looking at the Angels at Oakland. So this is going to be that second team that I'm targeting, and I'm really excited because I haven't seen that much buzz about this team as a stack, that being the Oakland A's. Going up against the lefty Andrew Heaney, right-handed A's players have a lot of power. I'm specifically looking at you, Chris Davis, and I have no problem deploying another 3-man stack of A's righties to go ahead and pair with the Boston Red Sox stack. So that's probably where I'll be going. They're easily my second favorite team of the night to go ahead and stack against Heaney. So I'm really excited for that. So just looking at kind of a build and where I'm kind of headed, right? So let's say we start off with a Jack Flaherty at 9K, and we try to pair in this chalky build with Ross Stripling. JD Martinez is going to be an auto lock for me. He'll be in all my lineups, of course, 4,800. I already mentioned Chris Davis earlier, so I'll probably plug him in there. You can either go Xander Bogaerts or you can go Marcus Semien. Both guys are really good. I expect Xander to be a little bit more chalky, but I do like Xander a lot. So let's just say we plug in Xander here. You heard me mention as a value play, possibly Jose Peraza at second base. So if he is batting leadoff, I will easily just plug him in here as well. Going up against the lefty Malone, and if it's that Boston stack at under 3K, I think he's a great play at that price point. So maybe something like this is where you start out at with the build, right? And trying to fill in some more ace players. So maybe we look at someone like a Mac Chapman. Depending on where he is in the lineup, can easily just slide in there, and then you still have 4,100 to play around with the catcher, another outfielder, and a first baseman. So maybe something like that. Or again, if you want to go for a more GPP build, and what I'm kind of looking at is pairing Flaherty with Chris Paddock, and now you have 4K to build around, which is still plenty. Maybe you can put catcher and get another elite first baseman or outfielder. But yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking at as far as lineup construction early on right now. So just to recap, pitchers that I do like that will be in my player pool will be Jack Flaherty. He'll probably be locked in every lineup I build. Chris Paddock is someone I do like, as someone's a less lower owned guy, more for GPP builds. And then Ross Stripling is probably my other SP2 that I'll pair with Flaherty. More for cash games, but can slide him into GPP as well. He'll probably be semi-popular, I'm expecting, but should be able to pay off that 8K value very well. Teams I'm stacking will be the Boston Red Sox and Oakland A's. Specifically, I'm looking at the righties from each team. But as always, if you want to get different with the team stacks, you can always play some of the lefties or play guys lower in the lineup. That's always kind of a good strategy as well to try and take down some GPPs. But that's it for today, guys. So again, as always, make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'll post out some more thoughts and analysis and my for sure locks of where I'm going later on in the day, closer to the slate lock tonight. But other than that, make sure to like and subscribe to this video. And